And we'll say good morning to you, broadcasting live. We're on the road again on this Friday, ready to go for another big weekend. We're live again at Mortgage Investors Group in North Johnson City. You can see the sign behind us, Tennessee's #1 independent mortgage lender. And so we're going to be here for the next couple of hours talking sports. We're loaded for bear. We're going to be joined live at Talladega from Pat Patterson from the Performance Racing Network. See what's going on this weekend. Big doubleheader racing, the Xfinity Series tomorrow, and of course the big one, the Geico 500 on Sunday. Big news out of NASCAR. One of the dominant teams so far in 2017 in trouble big time with NASCAR. We'll tell you all about that coming up here in a few minutes. Also going to be joined by our buddy Dave Martin from WLW in Cincinnati. So what's going on with the Reds and the Bengals and whatever he wants to talk about up in Cincy, the Queen City. Also going to be joined just in a few minutes by Ryan Presnell, head baseball coach of the Elizabethton Cyclones. We have a game scheduled today, of course, 3:30 airtime with the opening round of the TSSAA District 2 Three Rivers Conference Tournament. Rain in the offing, so I'm not sure we're going to get this one in, but we'll see. We're going to talk to him nonetheless coming up here in just a few minutes, talking about the AA baseball tournament being held at J. Fred Johnson Stadium starting today with a triple header. Elizabethton due to play Happy Valley today, and so we'll talk more about that with him coming up in a few minutes. Jeff Fancher joins us from Cosby, Tennessee, a guy that's a registered TSSAA basketball official, wants to talk about NBA playoffs, so got all that. Plus, my man Jeremy Livesy's in the house for Mortgage Investors Group, and so we're going to be joined with all these guys coming up here in just a little while. We're live at Mortgage Investors Group. You can see behind us, close on time every time, serving Tennessee since 1989 with over 70,000 closed transactions. How about that? They flat get her done. Of course, Jeremy and the folks do a fantastic job here. We're going to be talking to him coming up here in a few minutes. We'll get his take on the NBA playoffs too. As you know, my team, the Spurs, in big trouble. Well, I think they're in trouble. They lose Tony Parker for the rest of the playoffs. They'll pick back up with the game, the next round of the Game 3 tonight in San Antonio, so we'll see how that goes for them coming up. As we said a little bit later on, we'll talk to my man Jeremy here in just a few minutes. The verse of the day gets us going, Proverbs 16:3. We always dedicate the show to the man who hung on the cross. Commit your works to me and your thoughts will be established. There you go. And that's our thought for the day here again on this Friday. Can you believe it? May the 5th? Is this Cinco de Mayo? I think it is, isn't it? Cinco de Mayo today. Well, there you have it. That means... means a lot of things here in East Tennessee. I remember a couple of years ago I went to a local restaurant to eat, and they had shut the place down basically because all the most of the kitchen help were Hispanic, and they were taking the day off for Cinco de Mayo. So there were several restaurants impacted by today's holiday. So it is Cinco de Mayo. And again, if you're worried about the Christmas countdown, I think you should. 233 days to Christmas. There you go. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back. We'll check in with Ryan Presnell, head baseball coach of the Elizabethton Cyclones. Also, coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll hear from Pat Patterson live from Talladega. See what's going on. Is one of the big boys, one of the big teams of NASCAR, in trouble from last week, failed some post-race inspection, had points taken away. I mean, it's a big deal. And so we'll tell you who that is and all about that coming up here in just a few minutes. But break number one, we'll come back, check in with Ryan Presnell, live here at Mortgage Investors Group. 2 offices in North Johnson City where we are, and also in Kingsport. Today we're here at Mortgage Investors Group. Monday will be the Boys and Girls Club at Kingsport. Tuesday, it's about 3 or 4 places. I got to nail down which one I'm going to. Wednesday, Chick-fil-A. Thursday, Champion Chevrolet. And next Friday, back in the Food City circuit. We always take the first Friday off of Food Cities on Fridays to go somewhere else. And today we're here with Jeremy and Julie and Brittany and all the kids here at Mortgage Investors Group in North Johnson City. We'll talk baseball with Ryan Presnell coming up next year. Show number 512. They said it wouldn't work on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
The deals are heating up for Truck Month at Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City. Over 300 new Chevys to choose from, all with incredible savings. $11,000 off MSRP on 16 Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs. Check out the savings online at championjc.com. 16 Silverado Crew Cab, $33,685. 16 Track, $17,460. 16 Equinox, $21,615. 16 Traverse, $27,365. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology has just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. Blue Lizard Australian Sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just...
Back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We're live again here at Mortgage Investors Group in North Johnson City. And let's go to the phonies there. The head baseball coach of the Elizabethton Cyclones, Coach Ryan Presnell. Coach, good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about you, brother?
Just fine, sir. Glad to check in with you. Before we get into the tournament, let's talk about yesterday. Your JV got a chance to broadcast that game, and, man, what a comeback. They were down 5-0 and with 1 out of the 7th and rallied to beat the Sullivan East 6-5. What a comeback for your JV team.
Yeah, it's a special group of kids. And the crazy thing for them is they're 6 starters short because I've got 5 sophomores and 1 freshman. that are playing with their varsity that don't play JV. So, a bunch of kids that are playing in spots that we don't normally, that we probably wouldn't normally have them in, but they've went out and been very resilient. You saw that last night, scoring 6 runs in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. Just resilient, a no-quit attitude. They've really bought into what we're trying to do with our program, which is just create this culture of positive energy and, just dogged attitudes. And so that's what they've done all season, and it's led them to a 15-4 final record, and future's bright, I hope.
Oh, absolutely, very bright. I'm excited about Elizabethton baseball. Casey Vicchio had a big game yesterday, and Carson Dillard and Garrett DeLoach came out of the pen and struck out 6 over 3 innings, and John Gooch had a good start. So you got some promising youngsters again for that coming up out of the JV team. So now we turn our attentions to the obvious, the AA tournament starting today against Happy Valley, and kind of give us an overview. What's the very latest on everything going on?
Well, just a train wreck of a bracket with you had a 3-way tie for second, a 3-way tie for third. Went all to the second and third levels of tiebreakers to try to get that thing figured out. And so the way it shakes out is we've just got a mess. And so it's almost like a summer travel ball tournament. You never know what you're going to get and who's going to play how, and you're just going to go over there and say, we're going to play baseball. I'm going to put 9 out there, you put 9 out there, and see what happens.
And so you open up today, weather permitting, with Happy Valley. You swept them twice in the regular season, and so what's the storyline on Happy Valley?
Just again, very much a very good attitude baseball club that plays very hard. Obviously it's a little bit of rivalry with our schools being 2 miles apart, but a very healthy rivalry between the kids, are very gentlemanly towards each other, which is how they should be on the baseball field. I know they got some strike throwers. They got the one kid, Dustin Sams, who's very solid off the mound. So our approach kind of varies between which pitcher we're going to see, but nonetheless, we're going to go out and try to play a solid baseball game with good defense, good pitching, with lots of strikes, and strike those blows when we need to try to get us out in front.
It is a double elimination tournament. Again, we're talking to Coach Presnell from Elizabethton High School, where we cover the Cyclones here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. So you look at the brackets, triple header, Happy Valley Elizabethton Game 1, Johnson County Sullivan East Game 2, North, Sullivan North, and Sullivan South in Game 3. All this with an asterisk because rain is in the forecast, so a contingency plan. You guys have one for the tournament?
Well, the talk on the table is right now is that if we cancel today, we're just going to push it a day. And then obviously tomorrow, just not much better. So we would push that to Sunday and just go from there. It makes it difficult because, per TLSOA rules, we've got to have it done by Friday, which you want to have it done by Friday anyway so you can set yourself up. If you're the top 2 seeds that are headed to region, you need to be done by Friday to give your pitchers rest. So, we've got a bunch of good coaches. We're all very flexible and understanding of the weather, and we don't want to put anybody else at a disadvantage by pushing certain things here and there. So we're gonna do the best we can to try to make it a clean baseball tournament. Nobody's playing 2 or 3 games in a day unless they have to, getting a loser bracket, things like that. So it'll be difficult, but we got a good crew of coaches in this conference, and I have no doubt we'll get it taken care of.
Talking to Coach Ryan Presnell, last question. So you're going to play 3 or 4 games in a short 4 or 5 day period. What's the keys to a team like Elizabethton surviving and getting onto the regional?
Positive energy. Just coming out every day knowing that you've got a job to do and not looking past one pitch. You can't take a pitch off in tournament ball. You take a pitch off tournament ball, you're liable to make a big mistake, really change the season as a whole. So positive energy, being resilient, bouncing back, and winning every single pitch. Because even as a coach, you can get into this thing, well, if I pitch so-and-so today and then try to throw him tomorrow, and if I'm going to bring out the boy, you get yourself in a spot where you say, wow, if we'd only made a better decision, we wouldn't have gotten ourselves in this spot, which led to our elimination. So we're going to put the best of what we got out in front, run with those guys, and when it's time to put something else in, put the best we got then out in front and see how it works out.
Have you decided on your starting pitcher for the day yet?
Sure have, but I'm not telling everybody out there.
I like it. Playing close to the vest. Hey, I'll see you over there this afternoon. If it gets rained out, let me know. Otherwise, we'll be there ready to go to bring the Cyclones out there to the world and on the internet, bringing Cyclone baseball. Looking forward to it.
Sounds good, Tom. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir. Cyclone pride.
Cyclone pride, my friend.
You got it. Good man right there, Coach. We appreciate it very much, Coach Ryan Presnell, the Elizabethan head baseball coach. And so it's up in the air, obviously, a lot of rain, and the radar's covered up in rain. So we'll see. And folks said it's on the artificial turf, and it is, but still, you got to use your noggin a little bit. So that's what we'll do. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll check in with Jeremy Livesey. He's going to join us coming up next. And then at the bottom of the hour, or shortly thereafter, we'll go live to Talladega, Alabama. See what's sound like Forrest Gump. Greenbow, Alabama. We'll take a break. We'll come back at one point go to Talladega, see what's happening there as they get ready to go racing with the NASCAR Xfinity Series tomorrow, the Sparks Energy 300, and of course the Geico 500 coming up on Sunday. And of course, as we told you, some controversy in and around the NASCAR week this week. Some big team failed the post-race inspection at Richmond, and so they're in, I wouldn't say they're in hot water, but NASCAR put the hammer on them a little bit, and they should have. So we'll tell you who it is, what happened, who's the beneficiary of a negative situation as far as NASCAR goes. All that coming up next year, live again at Mortgage Investors Group in North Johnson City. As you see behind us, Tennessee's #1 independent mortgage lender. I think Jeremy told me the other day, stopped by Chick-fil-A, picked up some lunch, and we put him on the air. And I think he said at that point, it's over 50 closings already so far in 2017, 50 plus. And so I think he told me he's got 5 today. So this place hops. And the old boy says they get her done. You see behind us it says close on time every time. Serving Tennessee since 1989 with over 70,000 closed transactions. How about that? And I'm one of them. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We're live here at Mortgage Investors Group in North Johnson City. Show number 512 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. Blue Lizard Australian sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-Cities' best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
Back live again to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We is here, and guess who's with us? We are excited. There he is. Look at him on camera. Look at a little handsome rascal. Not a little handsome, a big old dude. Let's even put him up here on the picture because this one's even better. Jeremy Livesey, turn it right there. Mortgage consultant, 100% financing available, purchase or refinance loan programs to meet your needs and close on time every time. Again, Mortgage Investors Group, there you see it down the bottom, JeremyLivesey.com. And, of course, as we told you, serving Tennessee since 1989 with over 70,000 closed transactions. So he's here with us. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Thank you for letting us come over and hang at your... Love coming over. This is awesome. Julie's awesome.
Yeah.
You're awesome. Brittany's awesome. The whole kit and caboodle's awesome. Love it. So, busy today. How many closings today?
Just the one today. First of the month ain't too bad. So, but we have 19 left this month. Seriously.
Today's May 5th.
Today's May 5th.
So. You got 19 closings between now and the end of the year, or end of the month, I should say. So, let's get him over here. I want him on camera. You've seen me enough. So let's talk about it. Mortgage Investors Group, again, some phenomenal numbers already so far 2017.
Yeah, that's what actually when you started the show, we got our numbers for April. So through April, we had done 61 closings. And so now after you count today's, and we had one early this week, we're at 63 for the year for just over, we're probably right under 10 million right now for the year. So.
And as you said last time we were here, it hasn't really even cranked up yet.
Nope. Actually, June, July, and August. That's our busy season.
Really?
Yeah.
Hammer time.
That's when the kids are out of school.
Yep. And that's when people are making the moves.
When the parents want to move.
Yeah. So, again, we're talking to Jeremy Livesey again from Mortgage Investors Group you see on the screen. So, up to this point, ask you this other day, Chick-fil-A, so is it split levels? Is it farms? Is it mini farms? Is there a trend?
Here lately, the trend's been pretty much anything. I actually had a call last night from people. They've been pre-qualified, can't find a house. But in anything under about 200, it's gone like the day it hits the market. But most of our files right now, we got 4 new contracts in the last 2 days, and every one of them's over 200,000. So it means they're actually, more selective on the, it's a higher price range, so there's not as many buyers there. So they're still going against other people. So the one we got this morning, I think it had like 5 different offers on it, and thank God our buyer got the contract.
Wow,
which is
awesome.
It's insane how busy it is with the low inventory of the houses, I guess.
So it's a seller's market then, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely seller's market. So if you're wanting to sell your property, get a hold of a local real estate agent, and then that'll kind of transcend or loop right back into Mortgage Investors Group.
Yeah.
JeremyLivesey.com is where you want to go and check him out on the internet. That's how you can get a hold of him, and he's ready to go, willing and able to talk to you. So
absolutely.
We always talk about conventional, FHA, VA. You have a system. Last time we were talking about how you can help folks VA. A lot of folks can't or won't, but you guys love to.
VAs aren't hard, and there's more paperwork, but really when we streamlined everything with electronic signatures, there's really not that much difference now. Everything is, on our end, the VAs are probably the more lenient of the different programs as far as credit issues and stuff like that, but they also, it's 100% financing with no mortgage insurance on the VAs. And what we try to do up front is get them pre-approved on it and got them to go find the house, and then like I said, we just tell them, once you find a house, send me some addresses and we'll run the numbers for you before you make an offer. That way you're not surprised later on.
Yeah. Plus, it's easy to go out and shop. We know what you can get.
Absolutely.
Yep. So if you have parameters, you can go between this much and this much, then it's easy to go out and do your shopping. In fact, you told me last time we were here, someone called you on the weekend, and you said, hang on a minute, I'll crunch some numbers. You came back and said, if you're going to get that house, here's your, within $1 or $2, here's your ballpark, what the payment's going to be.
Yeah.
So
we do that all the time. I had a call last night asking for closing costs. I've already sent him out his estimates, and they're making an offer today, so we'll probably have a contract on that one probably by Monday or so.
Wow.
And,
It's awesome stuff.
Try to streamline it.
Yep. JeremyLivesey.com is the number to call, or the website to go to, rather, again, to find out more. And he's on the other end. And he will get, let me say this to you. When you call him, he will get back in touch with you. It won't be one of those 8 days later you hear from the guy. If
Exactly.
if he texts, or if you get a hold of him, you'll get a response, because he's there to serve you and take care of you. And that's why he's at one point right now doing a pretty good job, are you not, so far in 2017?
Not too shabby. We're about $2 million ahead of last year.
There you go.
So
It's called customer service.
yeah, so
NBA basketball. Last night it was a it was a brawl, literally. Boston and Washington. Celtics won it. Again, the final score in that one was let's see,
a lot to not a lot.
What?
It was a lot to not a lot. It was a blowout.
116-89 was the final. Wizards all over the Celtics. 8 technicals and 3 folks kicked out of the ball game.
Yeah.
So they got a little dicey, to say the least. And
Referee got pushed too.
yeah, that'll be a penalty. Somebody will be.
Yeah, he won't be playing next game out.
No, don't do it. You shove the official. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, that's not good.
You're going to probably put a little lighter in your billfold, and you're going to sit out and think about it. Have a chance to reflect on the sideline in street clothes.
It'll probably cost him a lot since it's the playoffs.
So, Celtics 2-1 lead now over Washington. They played last night in Washington. John Wall had 24. Isaiah Thomas held only 13. So, does this change everything now? You still think Celtics going to win it?
I still think Celtics are going to win it, but and I guess it really depends on who gets suspended. So if they sit some key players down, then we may. I figured they'll probably go at least 6 or 7 games anyway. So even if they get suspended, they'll be just for 1 game or so.
As we thought last night, Golden State no problem with Utah, 115-104. So now that series will shift to Utah tomorrow night. But again, Warriors no problem.
No, I see a sweep. I don't even think they've been down in this series. They've not been.
They haven't trailed?
No. so yeah, this is a cakewalk for them.
We're talking to Jeremy Livesey. We're live at Mortgage Investors Group. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll hear from Pat Patterson, live from Talladega. Big announcement involving a penalty with one of the NASCAR teams. Big penalty. And we'll tell you all about that. Let him tell you about it, too, coming up in a few minutes, and get a live report from Talladega. Rain, that's where it's coming from, coming our way. So we'll see what that will do to impact the racing tomorrow for the Xfinity Series, and then on Sunday for the Geico 500 for the Monster Energy Cup drivers. Tonight, NBA, Cleveland and Toronto. Again, the Cavaliers won there the other night by 22, and they lead the series best of 7, 2 games to none. Also tonight, my boys, San Antonio minus Tony Parker in Houston. That's a big loss.
Yeah.
Floor leadership.
But it actually, I mean, if you
tell me something good. Tell me it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
Okay.
I think Tony Parker being out actually will help them defensively. Because they will be able to put some of the younger guys out there, and Aldridge and Kawhi Leonard can't do it all. So
the guy that you're talking about stepping up to help out in the absence of Tony Parker is Patty Mills. So we'll see.
He's a better defender. Yes.
Series tied at a game apiece. It'll be Game 3 tonight in Houston. Again, Cleveland, Toronto again tonight in Toronto, and so the NBA playoffs going on right now, obviously. And so you're still banking on Cleveland and Golden State from the finals?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. With Cleveland or Golden State take it all?
I would like to see Cleveland, but I don't know.
I had a guy on the other day, Andrew Darlington.
Andrew.
You know Andrew? He stopped by, and we sit him down and we talked, and he says Golden State. He said it's not even going to be a challenge. It's a cakewalk. They're going to kill the Cavaliers. And I said, well,
that's what they said last year.
LeBron took it upon himself to take that team, put them on his shoulders, and rode
absolutely.
with it. So,
and they've got the weapons to do it. It's just Golden State. I don't know. I still think Cleveland can beat them.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Andrew and I got into it, and we also got an interesting. We always do this every time I see him because we're big pro basketball guys. So who's the greatest player of all time in the NBA? He said, well, what do you go by? I said, who's the greatest player? He said, well, what do you go by? And I said, I judge it by the rings. That's what I'm out there to get. The one has the most rings, the greatest player. I said, well, if that's the case, it's Bill Russell because he had 10 rings. So, but Michael, I think, would be the one most would consider the greatest of all time.
Yeah, they say Jordan and they say Kobe Bryant maybe and LeBron, but I think Kobe won all his championships with a lot of help. So.
Now, he talked about Pistol Pete. He said Pistol Pete was one of the all-time greats.
That was way before Andrew's time.
You need to send him a text and say, what are
he's
you
my
thinking?
age.
What are you thinking? Pistol Pete Maravich, but
yeah.
It's good stuff. Good conversation with him. So you've got, again, Cleveland and Golden State.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's what's going to shake out and come down to. We're talking to Jeremy Livesey. We're live here at Mortgage Investors Group in North Johnson City. 2 offices here on Princeton Road in North Johnson City. Where's the Kingsport office at?
It's across from Starbucks on Eastman Road.
Eastman Road.
Next to Jimmy John's and American Lighting.
So closing today.
Mm-hmm.
And now geographically, folks that you've been closing, I mean, they're here in the Tri-Cities, or folks coming in, moving in, or folks moving from point A to point B, or both?
Yeah, a lot of people moving in, mostly for medical jobs. And so that's a good thing for the economy here. Actually got a closing next week with some people that are moving here from North Carolina for a PA job up here at Wellmont. And then we've had a lot of people from, who we've done mortgages for that are moving elsewhere in Tennessee, and we're still, doing their loans. So we've closed some in Nashville this year and Knoxville, and we actually have a client right now that we're doing in Oak Ridge. We've done probably 4 or 5 mortgages for him. So he's bought a bunch of rental houses up here, and now he's actually going to buy one to live in. So he's buying one in Knoxville. So we're doing that mortgage. So
there you go.
Yeah.
He's all over the place, doing a great job again.
Yeah.
Jeremy Livesey at jeremylivesey.com. Let me show that picture one more time before we go to the break. We'll go on to Talladega here in just a second. You going to come back in a few minutes and talk again?
Sure.
Yeah. Now, Brittany she's a little under the weather today. She can't do her thing, but there it is. Jeremy, look at that. Mortgage Investors Group. Disregard those big fingers at the top of the page. 100% financing available. Purchase or refinance. Loan programs to meet your needs. Close on time every time. And again, you see there at the bottom, jeremylivesey.com. And again, as we said, serving Tennessee since 1989, over 70,000 closed transactions, in-house processing, underwriting, and closing department. It's your one-stop shop right here, right?
Oh, yeah. I think that picture is the last time I wore a tie. So that's
so enjoy this, right?
Yeah, so soak it in.
Yeah, enjoy this, and because it don't happen often.
No,
right?
No, it does not.
Me either. I'm right there with you. When I wear a tie, it's a special purpose, special reason.
Weddings and funerals.
You got it. Weddings and funerals. Come back in a little while.
I will.
All right, good man. Right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll go to Alabama talking NASCAR with Pat Patterson from the Performance Racing Network. Show number 512. They said it wouldn't last. We'll be right back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
The deals are heating up for Truck Month at Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City. Over 300 new Chevys to choose from, all with incredible savings. $11,000 off MSRP on 16 Silverado All-Star Crew Cabs. Check out the savings online at championjc.com. 16 Silverado Crew Cab, $33,685. 16 Track, $17,460. 16 Equinox, $21,615. 16 Traverse, $27,365. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology has just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
We're back live with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Again, we are here on this Friday, and we're live again here at Mortgage Investors Group in Johnson City. And let's go live to Pat Patterson in Talladega, Alabama. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Tom, I'm great. Always great to be with you, and happy Cinco de Mayo to everyone out there today.
That's exactly right. We need to go get some tacos today in honor of Cinco de Mayo. So it's good stuff.
There you go. Good.
Let's go. Let's talk about it. Talladega, I guess the big story this morning, the Penske team got a little bit of trouble since Richmond. Tell me what's going on.
Well, Joey Logano's car, who won last weekend in Richmond, apparently had some issues with the post-race inspection to the point where their crew chief has been fined a considerable amount of money. I want to say it's like $50,000. And
yes.
Todd Gordon will have to sit out a couple of races, and it sounds like Penske as a organization is not going to appeal that. So I'm assuming that Todd Gordon's got the weekend off while their cars race down here at Talladega. It's an interesting situation for Logano from the standpoint of, well, NASCAR recently has a thing called an encumbered win. In other words, yes, you won the race, but yes, you had problems. And with that label of encumbered win, there are some things that are not going to go with that program that normally would have. The number one thing is that it seems like that's not going to count towards an automatic berth into the playoffs. And that by itself is probably the biggest single setback for them outside of the money and so forth. But, you and I were talking in the off-air show just a minute ago, and the bottom line is that I don't think you nor I are very worried about Joey Logano making the playoffs or putting himself in a position to make the playoffs. Penske as a whole is an incredibly strong team, and while they may have had problems last weekend in Richmond, keep in mind that Joey Logano was last fall's winner here at Talladega, Alabama. Has not had a lot of luck in the past with the spring race in Talladega, but has always been good at this racetrack. And it won't surprise me to see him in that final mix here come Sunday afternoon for the Geico 500, which right now the conditions here have been wet all day yesterday. The ARCA cars came in and got their tech inspection, but never got onto the racetrack. They say that they'll give the ARCA cars 30 minutes of practice today in between the Xfinity Series practices for the Sparks Energy 300. But we're still trying to dry the racetracks, the jet dryers and the whatever you call them. They've been out there forever trying to get this big old 2.5 mile speedway dry. So hopefully that'll happen, and we look for good weather for Saturday and Sunday, so we're just trying to get this thing cleaned up from this last band of thunderstorms that went through here yesterday and last night. So, Tom, just as a point of reference for you, 30 years ago, a kid from Dawsonville, Georgia named Bill Elliott set the all-time NASCAR track record qualifying speed of 212.809 miles per hour. And I can assure you, nobody is going to go 212 miles an hour today at Talladega.
That is unbelievable. You're exactly right. And, of course, he did that, as you said, 30 years this weekend. So the qualifying record all time, NASCAR Hall of Famer Bill Elliott. You were talking about Team Penske. We're live with Pat Patterson live in Talladega of the Performance Racing Network. Penske's have won 4 out of the last 5 races at Talladega. So these guys got this thing kind of dialed in with Logano and Keselowski. Now, am I right, Pat? Keselowski's crew chief, was it Paul Wolf, and he out this week too?
Yeah, I think this is his first week out as well. But keep something in mind, and that is that the fact that you don't have your crew chief at Talladega is not really that big of a deal, because the bottom line is that, you know, the way these races play out here, the big ones, you know, the big wrecks that occur here and so forth, you know, and the fact that all the real work on these race cars was done back in the shops before they ever loaded them up into the trucks here. So this is a pretty good place, if there is such a thing, for your crew chief to miss the race. And I don't suspect that with the depth that they have in personnel under the guidance of Roger Penske and Walt Zarnicki and all those guys over there, Tim Cindric, they're not going to be hurting down here, Tom. I think it won't surprise me to see the two of them sit on the front row down here for the Geico 500.
Talking to Pat Patterson, another guy does well, obviously, Talladega, is Dale Earnhardt Jr. It'd be nice to see him come out strong and have a big showing this weekend. That'd be good for the fans and for him as well, right?
Well, I spoke to some of the folks here at Talladega, and they are expecting a good walk-up for Sunday's Geico 500, because they think a lot of people will maybe be sitting around this week going, man, I'm only going to get a chance to see Earnhardt race 2 more times at Talladega. And, of course, Dale Jr. is trying to do what his daddy did, and that's win 7 times at Talladega. He currently sits there at 6-time winner. And so he would love to nail down and stand shoulder to shoulder with his late father in terms of the amount of wins he had at Talladega. So, yep, a lot of people will be standing up on their feet if they see that 88 car go to the front here, Tom.
Talking to Pat Patterson, before I let you go, we do this every week, and everybody needs a win, but I always want to ask you, because you got your finger on the pulse of the sport, who needs a good showing this weekend? What individual drivers or teams need to have a good weekend at Talladega this week?
Well, we still waiting for Joe Gibbs Racing to show up in victory lane, so I suspect that, you know, they certainly will be in the hunt with all 4 of their cars here this weekend. I think this would be a huge win for RCR if Austin Dillon could win here, Ryan Newman, and talk about dark horses. Ty Dillon is in that number 13 Geico car for Bob Germain, and Ty Dillon is a pretty good super speedway racer, and Booty Barker is a really good crew chief, especially when it comes to the speedways. So I really believe that that would be your by far and away your underdog pick when it comes to who wins here on Sunday.
On to Pat Patterson. Again, we appreciate his time. I know he's busy down there with Performance Racing Network. So tell us, my friend, as always, where can we find you and hear you during the week?
Well, always check us out at our Facebook page, the Racing Guy Facebook page. Check that out, because we're always doing live stuff from the racetrack, so check us out there. Also, find us on Twitter at Racing Guy. That's at Racing Guy. And then you can also, of course, listen to us on Saturdays and Sundays on your home for NASCAR, SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90. If you have Sirius Radio, be sure you have the sports package and have 90, and you can listen to your favorite NASCAR news and information 24/7. Plus, you get to hear the radio broadcast no matter where you're at in America. You can pick it up if you can't find your favorite, if your local station and affiliate isn't available. You can always find the race on Channel 90. So that's where we're at, but we're always happy to be here with you, Tom, and look forward to doing that again next week.
Yes, sir. Well, you have developed a following. Folks have told me when I'm out and about, saying, man, we love that Pat Patterson guy talking NASCAR, and we do, and we appreciate your time. I know you're busy. Have a great weekend, and, hey, we'll talk to you next week, all right?
Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. See ya.
Okay. Pat Patterson with us again. Appreciate him very much again from the Performance Racing Network live in Talladega, Alabama here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We appreciate that very much. And so, yes, you heard it, Penske, as you heard him say, NASCAR penalizing Joey Logano 4 days after his win at Richmond, essentially stripping him of all benefits that came with the Monster Cup Series win. And so a rear suspension violation, and so it was discovered during the teardown at the R&D Center in Concord, North Carolina. So for those of you who may not be aware of this, when you win a race in NASCAR, your car, the winning car, they take it back and they go over with a fine-tooth comb to see if in fact there was anything wrong and any infractions, and in this case there was, apparently. So Logano cannot use the Richmond win as consideration for an automatic playoff spot, which is a pretty big deal. Should Logano still make the postseason, and I don't see why he wouldn't, the 5 playoff points that come with the victory would not count. The official race record still lists Joey Logano as the winner. Again, his 19th win. And so the number 22 team also fined $50,000, docked 25 driver points, 25 owner points, and crew chief Todd Gordon not there this weekend, suspended for this race and the race next week in Kansas. So those are some of the happenings off the track. Also, Denny Hamlin's car, the number 11 Joe Gibbs Racing entry, FedEx Toyota. He was missing a lug nut during post-race inspection at Richmond. His crew chief, Mike Wheeler, was fined $10,000 for that missing lug nut, which is a pretty expensive missing lug nut. And then 3 teams in the Xfinity Series also drew penalties for lug nut infractions. The most severe was issued to the Richard Childress Racing number 21 Chevrolet, driven by rookie Daniel Hemrick. Again, found with 2 unsecured lug nuts, resulting in a $10,000 fine and a 1-race suspension for crew chief Danny Stockman Jr. So, I'm thinking about this from a safety standpoint, and you go out on the track at the miles, or the speeds, I should say, these guys are coming up with in Danica, and so you're out there riding around with missing lug nuts. To me, that's just a bonehead move from a safety standpoint. It'd be like you and I heading off down the highway here, running at 80, 90 miles an hour in a comparable situation with missing lug nuts on your wheels. And you're thinking, well, that's not safe, and it's not safe. And as a result, they're being penalized. Why would you ask they would not have lug nuts? Because when you come in and you're doing a 14, 15-second pit stop, getting new tires, gas, and do what they do to get your vehicle back out on the track on a quick pit stop, then sometimes they don't get all the lug nuts on, sometimes unintentionally, sometimes intentionally, because the pit stop's slower than they wanted, so they're able to skip that, get them on there, and those lug nuts, and get them back out there with the air wrench, back out on the track. So it caught up with Denny Hamlin and also with Daniel Hemrick with the missing lug nuts, and of course the rear suspension violation caught up with Joey Logano. So there you go. That's the very latest from NASCAR. Let's run down the points before we go to the break. And again, from both series racing this weekend, let's give you the tail of the tape. As we told you, Logano is your winner for the 19th time in his career. And so he will, again, be ready to go with the racing coming up on Saturday for the Geico 500. Again, Joey Logano is not the only Team Penske driver who has had success at Talladega. Brad Keselowski has combined with Logano to win 4 out of the last 5 races at Talladega. Logano won there in the fall of last year, in the fall of 2015. Keselowski won there last year in the spring, and he also won the fall race back in 2014. So Keselowski, without question, the top driver right now in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series at Talladega. Check out these numbers. In 16 career starts for Brad Keselowski at Talladega, he has 4 wins, 6 top 5s, 9 top 10s. This guy can get around the track. He knows what he's doing. And so the other guy challenging for the win coming up on Sunday, well, they all are, but certainly Dale Jr., 6 wins at Talladega, ranks him tied with Jeff Gordon's total for second all-time. His father, Dale Sr., holds the track record with 10 victories at Talladega. So that's what's going on there. Again, the points: Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Jamie McMurray, Jimmy Johnson, Clint Bowyer, and Kyle Busch at the top 10 in points in the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series. And so, and as Pat alluded to, yes, it is the 30th anniversary of the fastest qualifying time ever in NASCAR, 212.809 miles per hour. In the Xfinity Series, also running coming up this weekend, it'll be running tomorrow, the Sparks Energy 300. The point leaders right now in that series would be the veteran driver Elliott Sadler with a 41-point lead over Justin Allgaier. Then you have the rookie drivers William Byron and Daniel Hemrick 3rd and 4th. Darrell Wallace Jr., Ryan Reed, and Blake Cook are 5th, 6th, and 7th. Then rounding out the top 10, Michael Annett, rookie driver Matt Tifft, and Brennan Poole are the top 10 right now in that particular series. And so Allgaier, of course, moving to the second in the points. He took the Dash for Cash at Richmond. So, again, another $100,000 check in his pocket. And so he's done that twice at Texas and now at Richmond. Of course, Daniel Hemrick got the $100,000 Dash for Cash at Bristol coming up a couple of weeks ago. Tomorrow on Saturday, racing in the Xfinity Series race from the Cup Series, Ty Dillon, Daniel Suarez, Eric Jones, Joey Logano, Eric Almirola, and Casey Kane make up the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series regulars. Will be in the Xfinity Series race this weekend at Talladega. The Sparks Energy 300 is the name of the race, and of course that'll be, again, as we said, coming up on Saturday. In fact, here is your schedule. It is raining as we speak in Talladega. They're trying to drive the track, the 2.5-mile super speedway, with not much success right now, so lots of rain in Alabama. It would appear that's the rain coming our way later on today and tonight. And so tomorrow scheduled will be NASCAR Xfinity Series Coors Light pole qualifying tomorrow morning at 10:30. At 1 o'clock, they'll drop the green flag for the Sparks Energy 300, the Xfinity Series. Then after that, the Cup drivers go out and qualify after the Xfinity race right around 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That'll set the stage for Sunday's Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Geico 500. Again, your defending champ of that race from a year ago is the number 2 machine of Brad Keselowski. And that is a look at NASCAR again here on this Fridays. We're live at Mortgage Investors Group in North Johnson City, broadcasting live here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show number 512. And again, tomorrow, the racing on the stages after lap 25, then after lap 50, and then the last will be the final stage, lap 113 for the Xfinity Series. On Sunday, for the Cup race, stage 1 ends on lap 55, stage 2 ends on lap 110, and the final stage scheduled to end on lap 188. And so that's what's going on there. Speaking of NASCAR, you want to be sure and get your tickets to Bristol Motor Speedway. As you heard Pat say from Talladega, expecting a big walk-up traffic on Sunday to see one of the last 2 times Dale Jr. will be on the track at Talladega. That same thought process is working at Bristol right now, and so they've been getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of ticket sales for the fall racing action at the world's fastest half mile. You don't want to procrastinate and go, there'll be plenty of tickets in August. Maybe yes, maybe no. We don't know, but I will tell you this, and this is not hype. The phones are ringing at Bristol Motor Speedway. This is one of Junior's favorite tracks, and so you would probably be wise to go ahead and make that phone call at 423 Bristol here locally, or you can get on the internet and go bristoltix.com, or you go to 818-415-4158, and you can get those tickets. Again, tickets start for the weekend in August, starting at $94 for adults. Kids, a $10 ticket. Remember, the kids on the 16th the truck race, the UNOH 200, on that Wednesday night, the Camping World Truck Series, kids get in free on that one. Kids also get in free on the Food City 300 on the 18th of August. And of course, kids get in for the Bass Pro Shop NRA night race for a $10 ticket on that Saturday night. So again, now's the time to get your tickets. Oh yeah, Tom, right. You're just being told to say that. No, I'm not. I just know how things go up there, and I know that this is the last chance you'll see Junior on a Cup race and the night race at Bristol. So that right there, in of itself, would, if I was in your shoes and needed tickets, I would not wait. I would go ahead and make that phone call and get the tickets. Again, right now, the adult tickets for the weekend starting at $94 for the weekend for the doubleheader, and single race tickets for either the Xfinity Series, Food City 300, or the Bass Pro Shop NRA night race are both on sale individually on a per race basis as well. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll take a look at Major League Baseball. Also coming up, we're going to be joined by our buddy from Cincinnati, Ohio. We'll get him on here coming up here in just a few minutes. And so we'll see what's going on with Dave in Cincinnati. Also a bit later on the show, Jeff Fancher joins us, again talking NBA playoffs and also East Tennessee State Buccaneer basketball and football. Fancher joins us coming up here in a little while. And also Jeremy comes back in as well. So we are here live. But up next, take a look at Major League Baseball. Check in with Dave Martin from Cincinnati right after this on show number 512 from Mortgage Investors Group in North Johnson City. You're watching and listening to the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but Owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us live again. We're at Mortgage Investors Group in North Johnson City with our buddy Jeremy Livesey, JeremyLivesey.com. Again, you can see behind us the #1 independent mortgage lender in the entire state of Tennessee. They flat get it done, and so we would encourage you to get on the internet and give him a buzz because he's ready to help you. And again, over 50-some closings already here in 2017. And so JeremyLivesey.com, close on time every time, serving Tennessee since 1989 with over 70,000 closed transactions. And we appreciate him very much. And again, they do a great job, and we love, again, promoting Jeremy Livesey at JeremyLivesey.com, one of our great sponsors. Also a great sponsor on the screen. How about it? The good folks from Grip. Our show brought to you by the Grip Energy Drink. By the way, the racing tomorrow and in Kingsport is canceled. They have canceled it. It looks like they'll run it next week. So the Super Truck Series, with the weather coming, is going to be canceled or has been canceled tomorrow at Kingsport Speedway. And so they will pick back up with that next Saturday. We'll let you know all about that. Grip Energy Drink, we got the ball cap on. We love it. We are sipping. Julie likes the pink grapefruit, I think, or the pineapple. Here's the, let's get up there right there. How about that? The Grip, turn it. The Grip Energy Drink was Grenade. Now it's been renamed to Grip. And so the new labeling comes out. As soon as they run through all this, the new labeling will come out of the new bottles. Same thing, looks like a Grenade, except now it's no longer Grenade. It is Grip, and this is root beer. They've got root beer, lemon lime, pink grapefruit, pineapple, and white grape. They've also got coming out soon sugar-free orange and pink grapefruit. All natural ingredients, vitamin B, biotin, niacin, vegan friendly, and also it is kosher if you are interested in that as well. And they're available at your local Food City. Again, and they've got a great special going on right now, so you want to check out Grip, and our title sponsor of the show. So the Tom Taylor Sports Show brought to you by Grip Energy Drink, and they are good. And we brought every time we come in, we bring a sample box full of the Grip drinks here for the folks here. They love them. And so, as I said the other day when Al was here yesterday, we were champion, and Al Biker was here, the marketing director for Grip. I've passed these out. That's what he wants me to do, and I do them gladly. But I've not met anybody yet that said, because every time I pass out one, next time I see them, hey, man, you got any more of those Grips? So they like them. And they got them on sale, of course, at your local Food City. So appreciate them very much. Our title sponsor of the show, Grip Energy Drink. Baseball from yesterday. First off, in the National League, Cincinnati beat Pittsburgh in the day game 4-2. Washington doubles up Arizona 4-2. Cubs hang on, go to extra innings and beat the Phillies 5-4 in 13 innings yesterday. It was an 11-inning game, seeing Colorado defeat San Diego 3-2. Also last night you had Tampa Bay and Miami interleague game. It was won by Tampa Bay 5-1. It was Milwaukee and St. Louis. The Brewers defeat the Cardinals in Busch Stadium 5-4. And also last night the Mets in Atlanta got rained out. In the American League, Cleveland Detroit also postponed. Oakland gets Minnesota 8-5. Texas over Houston 10-4 yesterday. White Sox get Kansas City 8-3. Baltimore defeats Boston 8-3, and also the Seattle Mariners defeat the Los Angeles Angels yesterday 11-3. Here's your schedule, opening up new series tonight in Major League Baseball. New weekend, of course, new series. How about this one? It's going to be a good one this afternoon at 2:20. You have the Yankees and the Cubs in a weekend series at Wrigley. Now, the Cubs were in Boston last weekend to take on the Red Sox in Fenway. So now the Yankees will be in Chicago this weekend, starting today, for a weekend series against the Cubs at Wrigley. San Francisco will be in Cincinnati tonight. Milwaukee at Pittsburgh. Washington will be in Philadelphia. The Braves will be hosting the Cardinals. Miami goes to New York to battle the Mets. Arizona at Colorado. The Los Angeles Dodgers will be in San Diego to battle the Padres. In the American League, White Sox at Baltimore tonight. Toronto at Tampa Bay. Boston will travel to Minnesota to battle the Twins. Cleveland at Kansas City. Detroit at Oakland. Houston at Los Angeles. And Texas at Seattle. As far as Daniel Norris, he'll be scheduled to pitch, I believe, tomorrow or Sunday against the Oakland A's in Oakland. That'll be his next assignment for the youngster from Johnson City, Tennessee. So, big weekend of Major League Baseball. Certainly the Yankees-Cubs series, you talk about tradition. Be a great series this weekend at Wrigley Field in Chicago beginning today. First game of 4. And that'll be going on, as we said, at 2:20 first pitch in the Windy City for today. National Hockey League from last night. Again, it was the, tonight I should say, skating Nashville at St. Louis and Edmonton at Anaheim tonight. It'll be Nashville with a 3-1 lead trying to close it out. Also, Edmonton skates in Anaheim against the Ducks tonight. That series tied to the best of 7, 2 games apiece. And so tonight the Predators try to end it in St. Louis against the Blues and get ready for the Western Conference Championship of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll see if that happens. So good luck to the Predators tonight, skating in St. Louis against the Blues. Big announcement coming out of Kingsport Dobbins Minute. Congratulations to the new basketball coach at Dobbins Minute. It's been named Chris Poore, Poore, from Jefferson County, the new basketball coach at Dobbins Minute. Been announced this morning. So Chris Poore is the new boys basketball coach, replacing the legendary Charlie Morgan. And so the new coach at Dobbins Minute, Chris Poore, coming up from Jefferson County. We'll take a quick break. We'll check in with Jeff Fancher. He's going to join us coming up next. And also at the bottom of the hour, Dave Martin from WLW in Cincinnati. And so we'll check in with Jeff Fancher, talk a little NBA hoops, talk a little East Tennessee State Buccaneer basketball and football, and whatever else is on his mind. Our dear friend Jeff Fancher joining us from Newport, Tennessee. We've got him next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
We're back live with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Let's go to the phone. He's there, our buddy Jeff Fancher from way down yonder in Cosby, Newport, Tennessee. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Tom, good afternoon, and rainy Cocke County today. Unfortunately, or fortunately, as a school teacher, we're out of school today, but is at the expense of some more damaging weather over in Sevier County, especially Gatlinburg. Those people they've taken right between the eyes 2 or 3 times here recently, and of course we had some water and wind damage up in Cosby, Tennessee, up in the mountains. So they called school off today, and I'm looking forward to spending some time with you, Tom.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the folks in Gatlinburg dealing with, is it fires or is it rain down there this time?
It was damage, but there was some fire between Cosby and Gatlinburg at 40 acres. It has been contained, but there was damage to wind damage to Gatlinburg-Pittman High School and their new athletic facility there, and over also at the Rocky Top Sports Complex there outside of Gatlinburg. So it's just another little smack in the face for those people at Gatlinburg, but I'm sure they'll respond efficiently.
We're talking to Jeff Fancher, our dear friend. We go back a long way, former basketball coach, now basketball official. And, hey, Dobyns Bennett made a new hire today. You set off here. This is a good pick for DB. Tell me about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, hiring Chris Poore, I've heard his name was being mentioned with that, along with some other great candidates. But hiring away from Jefferson County, Chris Poore as the new coach of the Dobyns Bennett Indians is a home run. Great guy. Played, of course, he played for the legendary Bill Duncan at Greenville High School. Played college basketball. I reffed him for 4 years on the college circuit. And hey, good coach, better person. And the people. Hey, Tom, you know that he's a good guy and he did the job well. And all the people on Twitter and social media this morning are thanking and wishing nothing but the best for Chris Poore. 6 years over at Jefferson County. They've got a good basketball history, but he took those kids in the last 6 years to some great heights, and I'm sure he'll be missed in Jefferson County. But it's always good when you walk out the door and people patting you on your back. So it's bittersweet for the people in Jefferson today, and I'm sure they'll rebound. But what a great hire for the folks at over in Kingsport.
We're talking to Jeff Fancher, so he'll take over immediately for the departed Charlie Morgan. Of course, he's replacing a legend, and so this young man gets a chance to put his stamp on the DB program. Chris Poore, the new men's or boys basketball coach at Dobyns Bennett, has been announced this morning. Jeff Fancher's talking NBA playoffs. You're a big basketball guy. What do you think right now of the NBA?
Well, I fall into the category. I get more excited about the NBA as the playoffs, and the finals come to the head. But I can't think. I watched most of the Wizards and the Celtics games last night. A lot of intensity there, Tom. And, of course, that's what happens this time of year. A lot of people, you can talk about the NBA top to bottom, no defense, resting players throughout the season, so forth and so on. And there's a lot of critics of the NBA. I'm an advocate of the NBA just because of the athleticism of some of these players that you see out there. I never cease to amaze the fact that LeBron James at 6'8", 6'9", whatever he is, 250, and runs like a AJ Merriweather up and down the floor. If I use my ETSU analogy, but the athleticism of these guys, John Wall, the young kid out of Boston, Isaiah Thomas. Of course, Washington got the best of Boston last night. And also last night, I think Golden State, I watched most of it, Golden State got the best of Utah last night to go up in that series. And I can't really think that this Golden State team, if I was going to do my prognostications, I would have to have Golden State playing Cleveland in the NBA championship. I am a Seth Curry fan, and just a lot of people think he's rubbing some people the wrong way. But watching that kid and his athleticism, and of course knowing where he came from at tiny Davidson College, is fun for me to watch. And I got a great Seth Curry story to tell you in just a second.
We're talking to Jeff Fancher again. He's live there. We're here again in North Johnson City on the Tom Taylor Sports Show number 512. And let me ask you about my Spurs. Are we in trouble? We lose Tony Parker. We are in Houston tonight. Series tied at a game apiece. And can my boys get to the next round, or are we in trouble?
Well, you always got to think that has to, if you look at it on paper, losing Tony Parker, and correct me if I'm wrong, he will be out for the rest of the playoffs.
Yes.
But losing that has to be a drain on San Antonio. But I don't think he's the total. He is a piece of the puzzle. But losing him, I think, knowing San Antonio and where they came from and the way they operate, they'll just turn it up a notch. No, I don't rule San Antonio out. But I tell you what, the Houston Rockets are playing some pretty good basketball right now.
We're talking to, again, our buddy Jeff Fancher. Of course, as you said, you talked about Boston and and Chicago, or not Chicago, but Boston and Washington, Toronto and Cleveland. They're left on the East and the West. It's Utah, Golden State, and San Antonio and Houston. So when it's all said and done, you're talking Cleveland and Golden State on a repeat at the NBA Finals. Switching gears, let's talk Atlanta Braves. What's the story of the Bravos right now in baseball?
Well, I'll tell you what, this franchise is on a roller coaster ride right now. You know, throw in a new facility. I still can't get over the fact that after 20 years, they tear these stadiums and build them up like Lego facilities these days. Of course, the Falcons next door going into a new $1.5 billion facility, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But the Braves have moved into SunTrust, and I am a diehard Braves fan. Named one of my sons Murphy after Dale Murphy, so that'll show you how much I'm loyal to the Braves. But the fact of the matter is, the Braves last year kind of rubbed me the wrong way, getting rid of all these players and seeing some of these, I think, all-stars on some other teams. You know, it's, say what you want to. It's probably more about the money than anything. But you know, they asked last year for all the fans to just basically sit tight, and you know, and we're going to rebuild, and we're just going to unload this team. You know, especially people that are paying the great money for season tickets and for the price of admission to begin with. It's almost like, hey, we're going to take a year off and try to assemble something, but you're just going to have to hang in there with us. Watching the Braves now, you know, they build them up that they're going to be win this, go 162-0. And, you know, they're kind of right here in the middle of the pack right now. Of course, got rained out last night. But the fact of the matter is, you see a glimpse of promise for the Braves. Of course, with Dansby Swanson, second-year phenom, coming in batting, 130 something right now, it kind of makes you scratch your head. But with Freddie Freeman, Matt Kemp, and I'm still got the, of course, the Mets put 16 runs up on them the other night and 20 hits. Braves pitching staff, I think, very suspect other than Julio Teheran. But I think, folks, if you're going to be on going to be a Braves fan, you're going to have to be ready to get on a roller coaster and ride with them, and take the good and take the bad as well.
We're talking to Jeff Fancher. We're live here again in North Johnson City. He's down yonder in Cosby, Newport, Tennessee. Love having this guy on. He and I go back a long way. And you got some folks watching and listening in Scottsdale, Arizona. Who do I need to say hello to out there today?
Well, my son Murphy, ETSU, is a basketball manager for a couple of years with Coach Murray Bartow. Murphy just moved out to Scottsdale, Arizona. I don't think he saw the summer forecast out there. He's a mountain boy, and all of a sudden he's going to go out to triple digits. He's already had triple digits 3 times in the spring, but he's listening out in Scottsdale, Arizona. My other son, Morgan, who is a senior at ETSU, he's listening on the internet as well. And I got a couple of family members that my brother Houston, that you know well and good, he's listening. He's an assistant basketball coach at UNC Charlotte. He's listening at his office there in Charlotte this morning, along with my brother Ray, who coached for a long time as well. So, hey, I put 4 in the attendance total for you today, Tom. I hope that helps out.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that very, very much. You've been around college basketball for a long time. What's your take on these guys stepping away as underclassmen and moving into the NBA draft? Duke's done it. They've lost some people. Kentucky's lost some people. North Carolina's lost some people. What do you think about that?
Well, I am never going to, you know, if my son, who's a senior in college, had a chance to go and not finish school and go after, you know, some of these guys will make more than your finest doctor ever will be in the NBA or in professional athletics, and I can't fault that, Tom, and I think you would do it, and I think I would have done it as well. So as much as I want to say it's good for college basketball, in the same breath, you know, it's almost, you know, turned into a business. And it is a business. If you don't think so, you just go look at some of these salaries some of these coaches are getting. But I straddle the fence on it. You know, it's almost like I want to take Kentucky, and especially Kentucky. They're well known for doing this. That just turn them into a farm team, if you will. And you know, and 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 here's the fact of the matter: these coaches go in there and tell these kids, "I'm getting you prepared for the next level," and that's what they want to hear. Versus, "Hey, I am going to prepare you." You know, a guy like Rick Barnes, he goes in preaching the song, "I'm going to prepare you for life, and I'm going to get this education for you." Not that I'm sure Calipari preaches that, but these folks, these kids, these parents want to hear, "Can you take my son to the next level?" And hey, that's his ammo, and if it's working for him, and as bad as I say, part of it, I hate to see some of these guys stay 1 year and go. And I think it's hard on the coach to reload every year, but when you bring in 5 or 6 5-stars every year, I don't feel sorry for Calipari. But I straddle the fence on that, Tom. I see the good and I see the bad.
We're talking to Jeff Fancher. Got him for a couple of more minutes. A little closer to home. East Tennessee State Buccaneer basketball, a phenomenal year. They're in a situation. I had Joe Vento on the other day, who covers the Bucs for the Johnson City Press. He says, "Hey, they're having trouble filling out their schedule because of their success of the program, nobody really wants to play them. The big boys, they used to be, all the big boys would play them because it was a win, a guaranteed win. Not the case anymore. So he's in a tough spot to fill out his schedule because of the success. It's almost been a hindrance to him, but that's a compliment to Coach Forbes and his program."
That is a compliment as well. I know my brother had his run there at Appalachian State for he was there for 9 years, and 2 or 3 years especially, and even when Buzz Peterson was the head coach at Appalachian State, they had great success, got the NCAA tournament, and guess what? Those people that used to call you, they won't take your phone calls anymore when you're trying to get them on the schedule, and vice versa. And I know that's an element of success, a product of success, and Steve Forbes had that this year, and I hadn't heard that, but I just knew that in the back of my mind, that all those people that Steve wants to get up to Freedom Hall and be able to showcase their team to the folks of the Tri-Cities, they're going to be hesitant. It's a lose-lose situation for those folks, and I want to see what Steve Forbes' schedule looks like when it's all said and done. I'm sure he'd like to, I would think he would bring in any team in America into Freedom Hall to take on his team, whether he was going to win or lose it, because I know he's wanting to build this for the Tri-Cities and for the university. And I guess the question I'm going to turn back on you, Tom, is can ETSU sustain? Can they go to another level on the basketball circuit? Of course, Freedom Hall renovated. I sure do wish that facility was on campus for obvious reasons, but the attendance numbers speak for themselves this year. Do you think ETSU can sustain and stay at that level that Steve Forbes wants them to be?
Yes, I do. I think as long as he keeps getting the recruits in, and he's turned this thing around, and of course he's bringing in JUCOs, but he's also trying to mix it in with some of the 4-year guys too. So yeah, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but yeah, I think he can. And of course they're the number one attendance basketball team for the men in the Southern Conference. So Freedom Hall, as you said, is very fan friendly now. It's a tough place to come in and play. So yeah, I see it going, but again, he's trying to finish out that non-conference schedule, so it's getting tougher to get quality teams to come in and play. But, yeah, I think he can keep it going. And can he get to the next level? I think he can be a solid Southern Conference contender / champion year after year. Going to the next level, maybe a little bit difficult, but I think he can certainly be, to use a term, create a dynasty, if you will, in the Southern Conference with quality players, because this guy can coach. Of course, the question around here is how long will he be around here, because being a young coach is successful, he's going to get snapped up. They stepped out and gave him a pay raise just to make sure that didn't happen. But still, at some point, you've been in these shoes, and people come waving money at you, bigger money than what East Tennessee State did. He's a young coach, so at some point, I don't know if they can keep him around here, because there's bigger schools with bigger checkbooks to get a guy like Forbes. But for now, he's happy to be in Johnson City at East Tennessee State.
Well, Steve Forbes, he's a good coach. I think he's a better and greater recruiter. And I'm a big advocate. It's about the Jimmys and Joes more than the X's and O's, and there has to be a combination there. But Steve Forbes can recruit. Shea can recruit. Collins can recruit. They're the hot topic right now in college basketball. I keep on thinking about Gonzaga. Tom, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever. Let's be friendly to each other. Let's say 20 years ago when we were in school. We never heard of the thing called Gonzaga, let alone pronounce it or think of them as a basketball power. Now they're a basketball power, and there's some other teams up there that were not household names when you and I were at East Tennessee State together, that now are household names on the power level. And why not East Tennessee? Why not East Tennessee State? Why not?
There you go.
Especially Belmont.
There's another good example. You're exactly right. So, yeah, it's possible. It's doable. And if anybody can do it, I think Steve Forbes can. Before I let you go, give me probably the most important part of this whole conversation. I got Jeff Fancher. He has now become a regular in my show. I love talking to this guy, so he's going to be a regular contributor when he can. So give me a little testimony about Jeff Fancher real quick, would you please?
I'll be glad to. And, for 7 years up in Boone, North Carolina, 5 years on the radio and 2 years on the local cable television show. We had a talk radio show that was sports oriented, and more than anything, it was faith oriented. And I've done a lot of good things in my life, Tom, and probably done a bunch of crazy and stupid things. Everybody's got a skeleton in their closet, and I'll be the first to raise my hand. I've got skeletons in my closet, but when I turned over, and I still try to do things the Jeff Fancher way these days, and guess what happens when I do that? I end up batting about 100. Yep. But when I've learned I've learned to turn over all the issues that are facing my life, whether it be financial, the day-to-day living, life in general. I turn it over to the Lord, Tom, and try to lean on his own understanding. Sometimes it's hard to, and you're supposed to have the faith of a mustard seed, and sometimes I falter at that. But Tom, long story short, I know where I was, and I know where I am now, and I like where I'm at now. I still make mistakes daily, and a lot of people think if you turn your life over and be a Christian, if you make a mistake, you start back at square zero. Thank goodness that's not the case. But I know where I've been, and I know where I'm at, and I like where I'm at, and it's just because I've got something in my heart that weighs with me and weighs heavy on me in a good way, and I carry it with me 24 hours, 7 days a week, and that's what gets me through this life, Tom. I've got a beautiful wife. I got a lot of good things going on in my life. Newport City Councilman. I've moved back home recently from Boone, North Carolina. I've got friends. I've got family. I've got it all going on, but still, sometimes this old life can drag you down, and it can take you to your knees. Here in Newport yesterday, we found out that a little third-grade girl at a friend of mine at Newport Grammar School, her teacher is one of my close friends. She passed away yesterday from a long fight with cancer, liver cancer. And Tom, I don't care if you're not kin to her or if that's your son or daughter. I've shaken my boots being a father if something like that happened to one of my children. And if you live the Christian walk, when somebody you don't know, especially a little child, passes away, Tom, it does me. It takes me to my knees, man. It just takes the life out of my sail. But if you can't lean on that understanding that little angel has left this unruly earth and gone on to a better place, we're all missing the boat. I'm leaning on the fact that this young lady, no matter how bad it's going to be suffering here for this family for the rest of her life, that hopefully they'll see that daughter again one day. She's an angel. She's in heaven today, and that's what I totally believe.
There you go. Well put, my friend. Jeff Fancher, a good friend and a good Christian brother in Christ. I'm going to be back in touch with you soon. We're going to get you on a regular basis. Have a great weekend. Keep smiling, and hey, I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Tom, thanks a lot. It's a privilege. Continued success. This is show number what? 500 and what'd you say?
512.
512, man. I can't wait. We up here at Cosby High School during breaks, whenever we can, we log on to Tom Taylor Sports and listen. And Tom, you and I go back a long way, and I consider you a friend. And as we get a little bit, long in the tooth here, just a little bit, that's what matters to me more than anything. I appreciate you being a brother of mine, Tom.
You got it, my friend. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right, see you later. Have a good one.
Yep, great job. Our buddy Jeff Fancher, again, a fine Christian man, and boy, he nailed it, didn't he? It's all about friendships and relationships. That's the name of the game, and also being plugged into the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And, I don't see how people do it if they're not. I just really don't. And it's going to get worse because the book says it is, so it's perilous times ahead. So if you're not plugged into the King, I don't see how people do it, but I guess they do. They try to do it their way, or as who sang it, Elvis and Frank Sinatra did it my way. Well, I did that for a long time. Now I'm doing it his way, and so doesn't mean there's not bumps and hiccups along the way, but when you do it his way, it's a whole lot better. Quick break. We're going to Cincinnati. Talk to WLW's Dave Martin. Then Jeremy Livesey comes back to wrap this thing up. We'll be right back. We're live here at Mortgage Investors Group in North Johnson City. Show number 512 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at FCA.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
Back live with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're live at Mortgage Investors Group here in North Johnson City, Tennessee's #1 independent mortgage lender, serving Tennessee since 1989 with over 70,000 closed transactions. And again, they have, this is a seller's market here in East Tennessee. They can't find the inventory to get you qualified. So if you're interested in selling a home or a farm or a condo or whatever, be sure to get hold of your local real estate agent and then call Jeremy Livesey right here at jeremylivesey.com. Get on the internet, talk to him, and they've already done 50, 57, 58 closings already. And this is not even the heat, as he said earlier in the show. The hot time is June, July, and August, and folks are moving and getting ready to go for a new school year. So jeremylivesey.com is the man you want to talk to. We're here at his place. He's there. Our buddy Dave Martin's on the phone with us from WLW in Cincinnati. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, but if I was a duck, I'd be doing a hell of a lot better because it's raining cats and dogs around here. The Canadian geese, they're having the time of their life. Boy, I'll tell you what, they're just out there sloshing around, enjoying everything. But, of course, I hear it's getting a little... Of course, you guys dealt with rain, just a week ago, and, of course, they've got terrible flooding there in the mid part of the country, all over the place. I don't know. I kept hearing so much hype about that damn global warming. What the hell happened, Tommy?
I don't know. But it's we're down here building arcs in Tennessee getting ready for the rain, so... Hey, let's talk about the Reds, man. The Reds, they've done pretty good. They went and got a pretty good series from the Cardinals, and now they get ready to take on the next round of opponents. So not a bad run right now for the Redlegs. Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, they beat up on Pittsburgh 3 out of 4, and I think they're back to 500 and stuff. Well, you know, it's that old adage. You know, you get a little bit of pitching, and the guys come through with some clutch hitting and stuff, and Joey Votto's, starting to swing the stick a little bit better, and I think, how he goes, the Reds will go this year. But it's going to be very competitive, like we talked about before, all over in Major League Baseball, because, when you stop and look at it, teams with, they thought they had a strong pitching staff, and these guys are falling off left and right. And even the Indians, that I think's got as good of a pitching staff all around, bullpen and starters, of anybody in the majors, they had their ace go down. He looks like he's going to be on the DL for at least 10 days with a strained back muscle. So it's going to come out to, who's got the farm system with some young arms that can come out probably in the second half of the season and contribute to who's going to be the team to come out ahead in Major League Baseball. And even the Yankees are making some noise early on, but it's real competitive. I think there's really only a couple teams that are really in the tank. So the Reds are going to be a lot better than people had thought they were going to be because they've got some surprise players, but it's early. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. We're talking again to our buddy Dave Martin. Interesting series this weekend. Last weekend the Cubs went to Fenway to play the Boston Red Sox. Well, this weekend, the Yankees are coming into Wrigley to battle the Cubs. That's an interesting series with two tradition-rich ball clubs. So I thought that was pretty cool. The Reds, by the way, have the Giants starting tonight in Cincinnati. We're talking to Dave Martin. So I'm going to get your take on Noah Syndergaard. This is a guy named, they call him Thor, and so he pitches for the New York Mets, as everybody knows. And so this guy...
Yeah.
Outing before last, he comes up lame. He's complaining of some pain, and so they shut him down. And so the New York Met management says, okay, we want you to go get an MRI to see what's going on with you, and he refused to do that. So he goes back out last Sunday, his next pitching assignment, last 2 innings, leaves the game because of an injury. Now he's on the shelf till August with a strained lat muscle. So now the Mets are catching a lot of flack in New York because they didn't do enough to make sure this guy didn't get hurt. So my question to you, if you're the management of the New York Mets, if I'm an employee of Dave Martin's ball club and you tell me to go get an MRI and I don't, isn't that a breach of contract? And that's something you're violating something, because now you've jeopardized me and you jeopardized my team. And now this guy's out till August, and this is one of the big starters for the New York Mets pitching staff. And because he refused to go get an MRI, he gets hurt, and now he's on the shelf. And he said, "Oh, by the way, you guys are going to pay me full price, even though I'm not pitching." What do you say about that?
Well, I'd like to know where Leo Durocher and the main Sparky Anderson, and those type of managers are, because that stuff would have never happened about 20, 30, 40 years ago. And I know it wouldn't have happened pre-1970. The snowflakes are taking over. I mean, that's the only thing I could think. You know, these characters out there, just because they make the major league now, they think they're calling the shots or whatever. I mean, and I got nothing against guys with long hair, because my hair is long, and I think yours is kind of long too. But no, I don't know what's going on. Somewhere along the line, these owners have got to get control over these players. Because if you look around Major League Sports, it's all over the place. I mean, there in football, you got all kinds of shenanigans going on and criminal type activities, and they barely get a little slap on the wrist. And of course, here in Cincinnati, there's a lot of controversy with the running back from Oklahoma that had thrown a knockout punch to some female and was suspended for a year. But they're wondering if he's a bad apple, and that's the last thing the Bengals need is any more bad apples, if you know what I'm talking about from the last couple of years. But that's a problem with sports, I think, Tom, and we've talked about it before. These young kids think that they can call the shots and do whatever the hell they want to do.
Yep, 10-foot tall, bulletproof, and the tail wags the dog. And of course, I'm old school, so what I would do if I was in New York Met management, I would dock this guy's pay, because you have caused me.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's one of the big. I mean, going into this season, the Mets starting rotation was regarded as one of the best in baseball, and it was.
Right.
It is, and he was one of them. So now he's out to August, and it's his own fault. And so if I'm the New York Mets management, I'm going, you know what? We're going to dock you some pay, because you're costing, number one, the fan base won't come out when you're pitching, because you're not going to be pitching, and so plus you're hurting us on the field, so you're going to get a little cut in the old billfold, which will never happen. But in the old days, it would have happened. But I want to get your take. I know you're old school, and you've answered my question. And we're talking to Dave Martin, and he's with us live at WLW in Cincinnati. And so, what else going on in the sports world you want to talk about real quick?
Well, I got to crow a little bit about our Cavs, because, I made the prediction with you on your show here before the start of the playoffs that King LeBron, he wasn't going to take what happened last month of the season, where everybody was making fun of the Cavs and said they were over the hill and this and that, and he's come out like a tiger. And, of course, I don't know if I'm allowed to use a Tony Tiger. He's got a tiger in his tank, but, boy, I'll tell you what. The Cavs' attitude has totally changed. Like I made the prediction on your show, and actually even on my show, that LeBron James, as soon as the playoffs got down to business, he was going to show up full force, and he's scoring like unbelievable. He's rebounding, assists, and he's just an all-around team leader. And honest to God truth, the Cavs probably have a better all-around team this year than last year, with the caveat that Kyrie Irving has got to be healthy, because they definitely need him in there and supplementing King James and stuff. But it's going to be real interesting, because I think the Cavs are going to sail through the East like I predicted, and then it's probably going to come down to them in Golden State, because with that key injury to Tony Parker, I think San Antonio could be in a little bit of trouble now, even making it in a matchup with Golden State.
I think you're right. The Final Four teams, again, are Boston and, of course, Toronto and Cleveland and Washington to the East, Utah, Golden State, Houston, and San Antonio in the West. Most everybody I've talked to this week says it's going to be a Cleveland-Golden State NBA Finals, so that's where it's headed, it would appear. So we'll just have to wait and see. Another question, and you brought up another good point. I love talking to Dave. This he's on the same wavelength I am, because he's riding the wave with Dave. We'll talk about that in a moment, but on his show in Cincinnati. But as an NFL team in the draft, all right, my team, the Raiders, went out and got a guy from Ohio State that's got some off-field problems. You talked about Joe Mixon from Oklahoma. The Bengals got him. Do you shy away from these guys as NFL owners? Do you go ahead and get them? What's your take on drafting controversial football players that have a checkered past off the field?
Well, I think nowadays it's more and more important for not only good scouting, but also going back and checking out these kids' backgrounds on where they came from and what's been their track record growing up. You even got to go back, I guess, and look in high school, maybe even junior high, and see, who they've been running with, if they're hanging out with the nefarious type of crowd, if they're out there maybe smoking the weed. And I know that it seems like everybody and their brother wants to legalize smoking marijuana and stuff, but these kids get hooked on it early, and then they're out there partying, and they think they can take advantage of women, whether it's sucker punching them or sexual misconduct, whatever you want to call it. But you got to check on their background. And if I was a coach or general manager and stuff, I would want to get high-quality type of athletes, people that are dedicated to their sport, regardless of what their sport is, not these kids with a bunch of attitudes. So I would say when you put together a team, that's the core type of players you want to have. But everybody's entitled to a second chance. I mean, I know that adage and that saying, and I don't have no problem with that. And there's been a lot of cases, Tommy, and you know it as well as I do, where guys made mistakes, and they've come back from it, and they've learned from it, and they've walked the straight and narrow. But there's also been a heck of a lot of cases where it's been one after another, after another, after another. And if I was running the team, after about the second one, they'd be adios amigos.
That's what I thought. That's my buddy Dave. Ride the wave with Dave, the old school guy. I love it. So, hey, before I let you go, man, let's talk about your weekend, how folks can hear you, especially down here. You can hear WLW clear as a bell on the big one. So tell us your weekend, how we can hear you up in Cincinnati.
Well, I've been doing my my biker retro show on 55 KRC, which is the sister station of WLW right in Cincinnati. And of course, the thing that's nice about it is I got people listening all over the country because of the iHeartMedia app. So anybody has it on their phone or computer, you can pick that up live. But I do that Saturday nights 9 to 11. And, I pretty much cover anything there, especially stuff in the motorcycle world. And if it ever quits raining, we will get back to having some fun on two wheels and stuff. And there's going to be a lot of big rides coming up. And the Biker Nation, just to let everybody know, is one heck of a good group of people. They're always out there doing charitable rides, not only in Ohio, but also down in Tennessee and all around the country. If anybody does any research at all, you will find out that Biker Nation's made up a lot of law enforcement, a lot of veterans, a lot of blue collar, and white collar, and even a lot of women nowadays, Tommy, that and I know you got nothing against that love to get out there in the wind, whether they're riding on the back. And a lot of babes nowadays, they got their own scooters and stuff, and they're out there outdoing the guys. But Saturday night at midnight, I'm going to be back in the main chair filling in. I haven't gotten the permanent weekend hosting job on America's Trucking Network, and that can be pretty much heard all over the country. And once again, 700 WLW. Anybody can listen on iHeart radio app or on your computer. And it's a lot of fun. And, of course, it's predominantly the Trucker Nation. But like I tell the guys and the hard-working women, you've got to have some fun on the weekend, Tommy. So you've been contributing and riding with me on both shows. And we've been having a hell of a good time. And the truckers are enjoying me. And, and I've pulled in a lot of people that just enjoy talk radio. And I'm like you. I know that, talk radio is a big part of our life, and it's a lot of fun. So I'd encourage anybody, if you're bored and nothing to do, tune in Saturday night, midnight to 5 a.m. That doesn't mean you have to hang out all night long, but you can pop a top if you're home and you're off the road and stuff, and hang out, have some fun, and call up. We got an 800 number for everybody and stuff, and just have a good old time. Don't ask me what all I'm talking about, but I'm sure I'll be able to talk about something. You know what I mean?
There you go. We'll talk NASCAR tomorrow night, too, because they're in Talladega this weekend. I had our guy checked in with him a few minutes ago. It's pouring down the rain down in Talladega, so they don't know if they're going to be able to get anything in today or not. So they've got qualifying and practice. So, but we'll talk tomorrow night NASCAR. We'll talk sports, talk whatever you want to. And hey, man, I love you being on my show. I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow night. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate riding waves with Tom Taylor down there in the Tennessee area, and we'll hold in there because I'm sure global warming's on its way. It's just a question of when.
All right, you're awesome.
I'll see you, brother.
I'll see you. Great. Thanks. You got a great job again, Dave Martin, with us live at WLW in Cincinnati. Love talking to that guy. I love talking to this guy. We're going to do it next. Our buddy Jeremy Livesey. We'll get in there and talk a little, whatever he wants to talk about. I'll let him. It'll be a potpourri of sports. We're going to talk about, obviously, again, Mortgage Investors Group, but we'll talk a little sports, and we'll do that. And also, by the way, we just got word the games have been canceled, and so we will not be having baseball today or tomorrow. The The AA tournament at J. Fred Johnson Stadium has been pushed back, and we'll be bringing you baseball on Sunday. So I'm not a big proponent of doing it on the Lord's Day, but you got to do what you got to do. So we'll have baseball on Sunday from J. Fred Johnson Stadium against the Happy Valley Warriors in the opening round of the TSSAA AA Three Rivers Conference Tournament, and we'll let you know when that is. And we've got baseball on Sunday. They've already announced it, that everything's washed out today and tomorrow. Also, the Southeast Truck Series coming to Kingsport Speedway, that's been washed out for tomorrow. So it's going to be one of those wet, rainy, cold, cool weekends. But now remember this. We get into August, and the grass in the years past we've walked has been yellow and crunchy because there's no rain. Take it for what it is, because there's places around the country that would be begging for the rain we're getting right now. So look at it as the cup is half full. Thank the Lord for bringing it to us, because He doesn't have to. And so there's other parts of the country that are still in drought mode, and so we're getting the rain that we need. And of course, we were like 5 or 6 inches below normal up until about a month ago. I think we're now actually into the positive as far as the rainfall tables. So we thank Him for that, because He doesn't have to do that at all. Quick break. My man Jeremy Livesey is in the house talking sports. Next on the Tom Ever Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at FCA.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, we're live again at Mortgage Investors Group, and he's there. Like, look right there. I guess we can both be on the camera at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Look at us. We'll just get cozy,
Yeah.
our buddy. So, our buddy Jeremy Livesey. So we're going to talk a little sports. I want to get your take. I talked to Dave Martin about this a few minutes ago up in Cincinnati, WLW. Again, we get a chance to contribute to that station every weekend, a little NASCAR.
Yeah.
And it's heard in 38 states. Let's go ahead and give it a plug on 700 WLW. We're on the Great American Truckers Network show every Saturday night. If you're up, it's usually about 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm on there for about a half hour talking NASCAR. So pretty cool. Covers 38 states. But anyway, had him on the show. Let's get your take on the same questions I posed to him. Number one, Noah Syndergaard. So I'm old school and I'm jacked up about this because the guy comes off the field hurt. Two starts ago. Mets said, go get an MRI, see what's going on with you. And he said, no, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
So then he goes out last Sunday, last 2 innings, comes off the field, and now he's been put on the DL, the disabled list, for probably till August.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Not smart.
Okay, so who's at fault here? Because the Mets are getting beat up in New York by the fan base. I don't think it's the Mets' fault. I think it's his fault.
I don't think it's the Mets' fault either. I think it's his fault for not doing what they tell him to, or at least what they ask him to. And we discussed it earlier. He's on his rookie contract. He's only making like $600,000 a year, which is a lot for us, but not much in baseball terms. And he's got an arm. He could sign a Kershaw type contract here in a couple of years, and he may have just messed up.
I just don't see how he makes it. Making $600,000 a year, I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know how he makes
I
it.
just don't get it. So I don't know if he can get the foods, did he buy anything or not, because there's not a whole lot of money there for giving me a break, $600,000. But all right, so I went as far. Of course, I'm an old redneck, old school. I went as far earlier in the show saying I would dock his pay because he's now jeopardized my team.
Yep.
The fan base, you got guys out there and kids want to come watch the Thor pitch. If you don't know who we're talking about, it's the guy with the long hair, and they call him Thor, Noah Syndergaard. And so I think he's done a great disservice to his team and to his fan base. So as the management, which will never happen because the Baseball Players Association
that's
will,
exactly what I was going to tell you. The Players Association never let that happen.
No, not going to happen. But I would make the attempt to dock his pay some, and going forward, put the message out that this is not cool. But it's not going to happen. He's exactly right. So you've covered that one. Item number 2, NFL draft.
Yes.
Or any draft, not just NFL. Players that come with baggage, off-field or off-court problems, do you draft them anyway? Do you look past that? Do you look beyond that? Give them a second chance? What's your take when you're getting ready to draft XYZ player over here that's got an off-field problem or off-court problem? What would you do?
Well, it depends on the team. You see a lot of, I personally wouldn't want him on my team because he's a representative of a team, but you can't fault other teams for taking the chance. And if you're referring to, Mixon,
yes,
Cincinnati has a history of pulling people that are kind of questionable. So so they embrace it. And actually, I think with their coach, he can probably reach them. And so there's other teams out there. I can tell you right now, he'll never play for New England or a place like that. So, but like I said, Cincinnati, they're checkered past of the players that have come through there. The last one would be like Chad Johnson and a few others, and Pac-Man. Yeah, they got they're used to it.
They arrested him last year, and they took him to the medical facility. He spit on the nurse, and he came back and he said, "What's the big deal?
Yeah,
what's not normal policy for grown people to spit on medical personnel?"
No, not that I know of. Yeah.
So yes, they have had a checker past of thugs and renegades, I guess, for lack of a better term. So this guy may follow right in there with him. But the other argument is, okay, everybody deserves a second chance.
Yeah, I agree.
The man who hung on the cross is all about giving us second chances. So, but it is interesting from my guys, the Raiders drafted the guy from Ohio State's got some off-field problems going on. So, and a lot of folks said it was a PR nightmare. But the other side of this is, you can go draft choir boys, guys that are squeaky clean, that may not have the talent, or you go get the guys that have the talent that may have a little bit of a checkered past, and so it's really an oxymoron. It's catch-22.
Yeah, and I said with the rookie wage scale with the NFL, they're really not losing like they were before, and so they're taking the chance, pay this guy a couple million now, and especially with Mixon, he's got a huge upside, and give it 3 or 4 years before you start criticizing everybody because, Marvin Lewis may make him a superstar.
There you go.
And I said, then they'll be thanking him for drafting him. So, and it's not costing the team that much money.
And if you get a guy and you get him under your wing, I mean, look at Tony Dungy up in Indianapolis. He had a couple of guys that were had question marks, and because of the way he lives his life and his faith, he got these guys turned around. Not the same, but I know Tony Stewart and Bobby Labonte, some of the guys were under the umbrella of Joe Gibbs Racing back through the years. The way he lives his life got those guys kind of shut down and kind of grown up a little bit. So, hey, who's to say that this may not be exactly what Joe Mixon needs to get under Marvin Lewis's coaching and get his act together? The time will tell. But anyway, we're talking to our buddy again, Jeremy Livesey. This guy knows sports. I'm telling you that he is on it. And so not only does he do that, but he also
my wife loves it. Yeah, my wife loves it.
Does she really?
No,
she doesn't. I don't think so. Does she watch all these games with you, or does she go in the other room and read a book?
She reads a lot.
Yeah. Mrs. Livesey reads a lot.
She does.
That. So, but anyway, he does a great job. And of course, JeremyLivesey.com. And we've been talking here all morning about Mortgage Investors Group. So, step me through the process. Someone out there going, okay, we want to go make a move. We want to either downsize or upsize or buy something new, and kind of step me through the quick process of what you do here.
The easy part would be, just today we've had a few calls in. Just call, tell us what you're looking for. We try to really work backwards. I know some lenders will try to get you as much as you can get approved for, and just tell you, there's some people that can afford a $400,000 house, but they may not want to have a $400,000 house payment.
Gotcha.
And so, we don't try to overextend people. So we at least, we know what they can get approved for, and then we say basically, what kind of house payment do you want?
Sure.
And then we work backwards, because unfortunately in mortgage world we don't take into account that you have a life outside of your house. So we, as far as you got to take into account utilities, cell phones, insurance, stuff like that. And what mortgage people look at is basically what's on your credit report. So that's why we try to work backwards and try to help people budget themselves, so they're not, setting themselves up for failure later, or the fact that they'll be selling their house in a year because they just didn't realize all of it comes along with the house. So that's basically what it is. I said the person we talked to earlier, she's got student loans and she's going to be paying them back in a year, and so trying to scale her back a little bit, you can get a $300,000 or $400,000 house now, but when you start paying $1,500 a month of student loans, it kind of eats into the budget.
So that's my next question. We're talking to Jeremy Livesey. We're going to wrap this thing up in sports here in just a few minutes, but I want to get him on because this is very good for you out there watching and listening, wherever you may be. So what percentage out of the money you make or your gross income, what percentage, I guess the question, when do you become top heavy? If it takes 30% of your income to make house payments, or 20 or 12 or 46, what's the magic bullet?
Depending on your credit scores, if they take into account, if you have over 720 on your credit scores, they kind of give you a little bit of leeway. Anything below that, you're probably looking at, on a housing ratio, the actual house payment itself, they like to keep it in the 30s. 30s would be about the highest, because we go by pre-tax income, and so like I said, we don't take into account 401k disbursements, your actual income taxes and stuff. Now, for your total debt ratio, which includes all your bills that shows up on your credit report, we try to keep it at 45 or below. FHA goes up to like 55. So the government's a little more lenient than so people can really, not really overextend themselves, but some people, especially now with like the example I had earlier, student loans, we have to count a certain number of percentage against them, even if they're not paying them back. So we want to make sure that once they do start paying them back, that they're going to be able to take care of that. So we kind of we're conservative on that end as far as the student loans. So
it's good information, folks. Again, folks that may not know. So see, you just heard this man's expertise again, just off the top, off the cuff, because he knows his business. You've been at it for how many years?
15 years.
15 years. So he has seen the peaks and valleys in the housing market, obviously. And right now, as he said earlier, it's a seller's market here in East Tennessee. That there are more folks needing homes than there's inventory out there to get them. So if you are thinking about making a move, of course, I would recommend my buddy Kevin Harmon from Century 21 Legacy. He's good. He does a great job. He has had, 4 or 5 closings since he's got into the business, and he told me the same thing. from their side of the fence, they're looking for inventory,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's looking for folks to buy the inventory
Yep.
once inventory becomes available. So it's kind of like a domino effect. JeremyLivesey.com again. So there is condos. I guess you've done everything. Mini farms,
Yeah.
condos, businesses. I guess you do.
I don't do commercial. We used to do it here, and to be honest with you, it's a pain.
Yeah.
And
So we just stick with residential.
We stick with residential. It's a little more. It's less stressful.
Yeah. And look right here, serving Tennessee since 1989 with over 70,000 closed transactions. Your numbers this year are what so far? 51.
We're at 61 right now for this year at just under 10 million.
All right.
So, not too bad.
We'll say hello to a couple of folks here, a couple of dear friends. Our buddy Aaron Ferguson up in Huntington, West Virginia. I want to say hello to him. Also, our buddy Ashley Powers down in wherever she's at.
Kennesaw, Georgia.
Kennesaw, Georgia, down yonder, and her mother, the old Kentucky Ridge Runner over here in Kingsport. Elaine, she's a piece of work, and also Coach Clark Powers. So, dear folks, and let's see, somebody else we were going to talk to. Oh, last time we were here, you were getting ready to do a golf tournament.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
We ended up raising about $2,500.
Awesome.
For St. Jude's.
Yep. St. Jude's.
Yep.
So
it was a good turnout.
Yep. And of course, the St. Jude's golf. That's a great segue because the St. Jude's golf tournament coming up this Sunday at the Country Club in Bristol, 1:00 shotgun start. And when we come back and do our final break and wrap this thing up, we'll tell you how to call in the last minute because rain's going to get us today and tomorrow. We've canceled the baseball game for Elizabeth until Sunday. And so Sunday it's going to be warmer, sun's going to be out, and they're playing golf Sunday at the Country Club in Bristol for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Memphis, baby, and then also here in Johnson City, the Satellite Hospital at Niswonger's Children's Hospital. So you raise money for St. Jude's, and pretty cool. We had Gary Taylor on earlier in the week talking about St. Jude's. He's heading up the golf tournament. He knows folks went down there and used the services, and they got ready to leave and said, how much we owe you? He said, well, you don't owe us a penny.
Yeah.
So
we have a young man in our church that went through the same thing, and it's an impressive facility.
Yes, it is. 80, I think Gary told me earlier in the week when we had him on the show, we were at Mike's Medicine Mart on Monday, 80 kids right now in the 4-county area of Northeast Tennessee, unfortunately, or fortunately, how you want to look at it, using the services of Niswonger either in Memphis, the St. Jude's either in Memphis or the St. Jude's here at Niswonger Children's Hospital in Johnson City. So we're out raising money for these folks, and again, the golf tournament, he did it to the tune of $2,500, and so we'll see what they raise coming up on Sunday, and then, of course, after that is the big blowout for me. I don't play golf, but you're a putt-putt guy?
Yeah, I do.
Of course, I know he plays golf, but
not as much as I want to, but yeah.
So coming up in August will be the big putt-putt golf tournament over on Stone Drive in Kingsport. Thing is huge. You got Benny Wilson, and it's a heck of a blowout. Have a lot of fun over there. So that's the next chance to, after Sunday, raise money for St. Jude's. JeremyLivesey.com. He's a good one. We love coming over here, man. This is a cool place. I love
it's nice and quiet.
Yeah, I love the digs, man. It is awesome. And Phil Uptown, and as soon as you walk in, Julie greets you. Run down the staff real quick. The great folks in here that
we've got here we got Julie, and then I've got Tina in the back. She's my processor, and then my assistant Brittany, and then we've got our branch manager here, Bob, and Michael and Lucas that are out of this office. And then in Kingsport we have Amanda and Cena, who are both processors.
Yeah. So now I'm going to make him go back through and give last names. Julie is
Kilby.
Brittany Kasem.
Kasem.
She kin to Casey?
No, she's married into the family.
Casey Kasem.
Yeah, she keeps her feet on the ground and reaching for the stars.
Keep your feet on the ground or reaching for the stars.
That's right.
That was his slogan.
Yeah, that's top 40.
Yeah, that was his slogan. He's hilarious. All right. What's the other team?
Tina Montgomery Bowers. She's had like 2 or 3, but yeah, she married into a Westgate, so she's a Tina Westgate now.
Okay.
And then we have Bob Hefty, which is our manager, and Lucas Johnson and Michael Worley.
And then in Kingsport
we have Amanda Harwood and Cena. I have no idea what her last name is.
Smith.
Sure.
Jones.
She doesn't process for me. I don't have a whole lot of connection with her. I talked to her. She's nice.
Yeah, nice lady.
Yeah.
She's part of the team.
Yeah.
But this guy's name is Jeremy Livesey. You see on the screen. Livesey or Livesey. So good stuff. Can I come back soon?
Yeah, not next week. I'll be at the beach.
No, you'll be gone. He's vacating R&R.
So if you come next week, you'll be flying solo.
No, we'll be back out on the road to Food City next week. But first Friday of each month, we have a Friday off, so I want to come over here and hang with this guy because, again, way back in the day, matter of fact, this is how he and I met. He processed, I ran my home through here, and Mortgage Investors Group. It's been a long time ago, and so I'm a happy card-carrying member of Mortgage Investors Group. They do a phenomenal job. So this guy's class. So, and he's not only is a good guy at what he does as a day job, he's a good friend too. And he's a Nissan. You're like that Japanese car. You're a Nissan. So.
Nissan, yes.
I'll see you soon. Enjoy your time off. You deserve.
Oh, I will thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, think of me now. He's at the beach eating seafood, and I'm over here eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Quick break. We'll be right back. We'll close it out. We're live at Mortgage Investors Group on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Back in the Tom Taylor Sports Show again, wrapping this thing up again on this Friday. Let me get the camera turned back around here before we get out of here. I do want to say thanks, of course, to Jeremy and the folks here at Mortgage Investors Group. Again, Elizabethton baseball canceled today. The entire AA tournament has been scrapped for both today and tomorrow. So we'll come back on Sunday. We will have baseball on Sunday. It'll be Elizabethton and Happy Valley. So Again, the rains are coming, and we need the rain. I know folks say, it's going to mess up the weekend, and it will. But it also, remember that, as we said earlier in the show, when it gets into August and dog days, and it's hot and dry, and I remember it wasn't that long ago here in East Tennessee, the ground was cracked, and the grass was brown and yellow because it hadn't any rain, and people were complaining about no rain. Now they're complaining about too much rain. We just bellyache all the time. And so, remember when the Israelites complained, and so didn't have enough food, and he brought in manna, and it's just, we're always complaining about something. We're never happy. But again, we do have a lot of rain coming in, and it's unfortunate, but again, it's, he runs the show, thank goodness. I'm glad he didn't put us in charge of the weather. We'd mess that up too. But anyway, there is no ball games on Saturday, tomorrow, or no games today in the AA tournament. Everything else, as far as I know, is on. I've not heard anything to the contrary. But again, the AA tournament, which we are involved in because the Elizabethton Cyclones will be playing Happy Valley on Sunday, those games have been postponed today and tomorrow until we get ready to bring you baseball on Sunday. It is a double elimination tournament. Again, as Coach Presnell said earlier in the show, the head coach of Elizabethton had him on the show, that they've got to have the tournament done lock, stock, and barrel, 2 teams ready to go on to the regional by next Friday, a week from today, which you can do. You just have to double them up and play a lot of baseball. The downside of that is there's more rain coming midweek next week, but we'll worry about that then. So we will have baseball on Sunday. We're ready to go. I want to say thanks to one of our great sponsors, Cherokee Barbershop, the Gator Man. Again, we appreciate him very much. Again, at Cherokee Barbershop in South Johnson City, when the barber pulls out, the Gator Man's in. He's open Tuesday through Saturday, and of course, haircuts are free there. A cup of coffee costs you $11. You get to keep the cup, but again, your haircuts are free. He cuts both men's and little guys' hair. He puts the booster seat across the chair there and cuts the little feller's hair. So again, he's told me just last week he had 7 brand new customers. He stays hopping, but he always has room for you. They're located in Executive Park South, right down from Tipton Haynes Working Farm in South Johnson City. And we appreciate him very much being with us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Also, a couple of other programming notes. Do want to remind you the Southeast Truck Series we were talking about all week long, brought to you by Grip Energy, has been canceled. That'll be picked back up, we think, next week, although next week is Mother's Day weekend, so I'm not sure that will be the situation. But right now they have not made a makeup date yet, but they are canceling the racing for tomorrow. And that's going to be, again, the Southeast Truck Series, Super Truck Series coming to Kingsport Speedway. That is going to be and has been canceled until further notice. It looks to be the next week or the week after. The All-Star Grip Energy Drink All-Star Tour with the Southeast Super Truck Series canceled tomorrow at Kingsport Speedway. Before we get out of here, again, reminding you, here it is one more time, the 18th Annual St. Jude's Benefit Golf Tournament this coming Sunday. That'll be, again, happening at the Country Club in Bristol at 1 o'clock. Again, you can still sign up. I think they said maybe 4 or 5 slots left, and it's a complete sellout. $70 a person, $250 a team. Captain's Choice 4-person. Again, Tom Jane is your contact at 323-2239. 323-2239. The 18th Annual St. Jude's Benefit Golf Tournament at the Country Club in Bristol on Sunday, 1 o'clock. Tee time at 1. Lunch provided by Texas Roadhouse. Again, there's a hole-in-one sponsor. You can win a 2017 Honda Accord. Again, from Bill Gatton Honda at Bristol. Also, they have the putting, longest drive, closest to the pin, hole-in-one contest. So all that, your typical golf tournament, and it's to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital, of course, in Memphis and here in Johnson City, and it's being done by the great folks at the Gold Wing Riders Association, Tennessee Chapter C, the Tri-City Wings, and we appreciate them very much. Last but not least, let's tell you real quick about some of the specials at your local Food City this week before we get out of here. Strawberries, buy one, get one free, again, at your local Food City this week. Be a good weekend, get some strawberry shortcake going. Again, buy one, get one free. Red ripe strawberries out of Florida. Also, Mayfield ice cream, buy one, get one free this week. Food City fresh ground beef, $2.49 a pound. Again, with your Food City value card. Also, you have buy one, get one free. Certified Angus beef chuck roast, $2.99 with your card, $2.99 a pound. Buy one, get one free. Also, you have Doritos or Tostita potato chips. Buy one, get one free this week at your local Food City. Let's see what else. Assorted pork chops, $1.99 a pound. They also have out of the Bakery Deli the Patty Melt Combo, fries, chips, and drink, 6-inch Patty Melt Combo for $5. Macaroni salad, They've got that for $1.99 coming out of the Food City Bakery Deli. Also, the mesquite turkey breast. That's good stuff. $4.99 a pound. And also strawberry shortcake from your made fresh every day from your Food City Bakery Deli. Strawberry shortcake, $6.99. All this again in the sale paper. Just simply go to foodcity.com, check it out. And also, guys, I'll reach this out to you right now. If you're in trouble in the doghouse, need to kind of do a little make good, the Oopsie Daisy bouquet for $5.99. They've got those right now in the floral department. Also hanging baskets for $10.99. The knockout roses, the 3-gallon knockout roses for $19.99 at your local Food City. Also the mandevilla or hibiscus, $16.99 each. All that again in the floral department at your local Food City. So appreciate those folks. We'll be back at a Food City near you coming up next Friday. All right, so big thanks today as we close this thing out. Big thank you to Ryan Presnell, Elizabethan head baseball coach. We'll be bringing you Cyclone Baseball right here on Tom Taylor Sports Show Facebook on Sunday afternoon. Everything's washed out today and tomorrow for the tournament. I want to say thanks to Coach Presnell. Pat Patterson joined us live from Talladega, the Performance Racing Network. Dave Martin from WLW in Cincinnati. Jeff Fancher from Newport Cosby, Tennessee, talking sports. Of course, my man right here, Jeremy Livesey from Mortgage Investors Group at jeremylivesey.com. We're out of time, and we sincerely thank you for yours. Again, reminding you, Pantene's beautifullinks.com for the hair. Go there and check it out. We're growing the hair, so once it gets to the appropriate length, we'll have it cut off, and they will take it and use it to make wigs for ladies going through chemo and radiation, a real-life wig, and so I think that's pretty cool. So I always want to give a shout-out to Pantene's Beautiful Links with the hair being grown for cancer patients, either going through radiation or chemotherapy or both. So, hey, we want to say thanks to Pantene's beautifullinks.com. Out of time, we sincerely thank you for yours. Rejoining you again Sunday afternoon for Elizabethan Cyclone Baseball. Until then, as always, we'll tell you from Mortgage Investors Group in North Johnson City, show number 512 in the books. Till we greet you again on Sunday afternoon for Cyclone Baseball. As always, win or lose, be a good sport. So long, everybody.